What's up, guys? I'm Don Smith, and this is What's Cooking Neighbor. And always, I'm going to take your taste buds on a culinary journey. And where will that journey lead us today? Well, we have a fish stew. That's right. We have this beautiful piece of salmon that was on sale. So I saw it, so I said, why not? Let's run with it. And we had some portobello mushroom left over. Why not use that? We have bok choy. This is going to add some texture to the stew. And we have some onions and garlic. As always, you know we got to have that. And we have some other herbs and spices. We're going to throw in a little capers into that. We have some fire roasted diced tomatoes. We're going to go in there, and we have some organic bone broth that's going to add a lot of flavor to this. And of course, we have something that's going to add a lot of flavor to this. We have a cup of Sauvignon Blanc white wine that's dry, and a cup of dry pork to also go into this. So let's get chopping. And this is a one pot dish, so that is amazing in and of itself. You don't got a lot of messes to deal with. Let's get everything here and there and everywhere. Let's start with our onion. We're just gonna go with some little dices on our onion. You know how we do that. Get rid of view. Now you guys can come over here and just hang out. And you just hang out right there. Then we're gonna go with this portobello mushroom. We're gonna slice it really, really thin. As thin as you can get it, paper thin. And we're just gonna let that go. And then that's gonna cook in here. It's gonna cook down. It's gonna soak up a lot of that flavor. About like that. Beautiful. Come over here, you guys hang out right here. You just hang out right there. Then we're going to work with our bok choy. This is a vegetable that's usually used in Asian dishes, like when you have a wok and you throw your vegetables all into that. Usually they use the bok choy for the crunch and the texture into that. So, but there's no special way to cut this, just dice it up. And we want mostly the greens. We're gonna just a little bit of the white for that texture as well. Let's go ahead and add you, buddy. Now this is gonna add, you can also substitute with kale or spinach or any kind of greens like that. And it's going to add a little texture and a little earthiness to it. Now we have our pot ready to go there. We're going to let that start to get heated up. And we have also some parsley that's going to go in at the last minute. Give that a quick chop real quick while that's starting to rock and roll. We already got a little oil in. We're going to add just a little bit more extra virgin olive oil to that. And we are going to go in with our onion. And we're going to hit that with a little Himalayan pink sea salt. to get that going. We want that to saute. We don't want that to brown up. We want that just to get a little translucent. Hit that with some pepper medley. And then once that starts to get fragrant, then we're going to hit that with some garlic. Huge garlic fan. Use as much as you want. And once that aroma hits your nose, you know what time it is, that we're about there. And then we're going to go in with our bok choy again. Use whatever kind of greens you want. You can use collard greens, mustard greens, spinach, whatever. And it's totally optional. You can use it or you can omit it. Totally up to you. Hit that with a little bit of sea salt. Then we're going to let that cook down. And as you can see, the bok choy is just soaked up most of the oil that was in our pot. So if you need to, you can hit it with a little more oil. And you can see it's cooking down quite nicely. And again, it's going to add another layer of flavor and texture to this. All right, guys, we have our foundation going. When we return, we're just going to keep adding this, and we're going to add our fish, and we're going to have a beautiful, beautiful fish stew when it's all said and done. So stick with us right here on What's Cooking Neighbor. I'm Don Smith, and I'll be right back.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows, maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just because we're being healthy at home and practicing good social distancing doesn't mean we have to lock ourselves away and throw away the key. You can still get up and stay active not only for our physical health, but for our mental health as well. Maybe it's time to pick up running again. Or you can take the dogs for a walk. And with all the barbershops and salons being closed, right now seems to be a good time to learn to cut your own hair. But no matter what you do, make sure you have fun. And for more information on what Campbell's University is doing in our battle against COVID-19, visit campbellsville.edu.
Wash your hands, stay home, cover your cough. It's our new reality with COVID-19, and that means calling ahead instead of going directly to a doctor or hospital if you're sick. It means being more patient. We're all in this together, and we all have a role in preventing the spread. So, prepare, focus on the essentials, protect, keep some space from people outside your home, and disinfect a lot. Get the facts at kycovid19.ky.gov. Prepare, protect, disinfect.
What's up, guys? I'm Don Smith, and today it's all about fish stew, and we have our groundwork already going right here. And now we're going to add just a little bit more oil to this because we're about to throw in our mushrooms, and we all know what mushrooms, well, what they do when they go into a pot with liquid or oil or anything like that, they suck it right up. So our portobello mushrooms go in. And we're going to add just a little bit of that salt to this. And once our mushrooms start to get a little color, and start to break down a little bit, we're going to go in right there's where we want to be. Now we're going to go in with our diced fire roasted tomatoes, juice and all. We're going to just kick that into there, and we're going to hit that with some oregano right off the top, on top of those tomatoes, just like that. And a little bit Italian seasoning. If you have basil, thyme, beautiful to go into this right now. Fresh would be wonderful. If you have fresh basil, thyme, oregano, any of that, it would be great to go in right now. But if you don't, this will work just as well. Now let's everybody get to know each other. And now this is our foundation for the stew. Give that a quick saute. Now to this, we're going to go in with 1 cup of dry white wine. This is a Sauvignon Blanc. Anything you can find, anything you like, anything but one thing. Do not go into a grocery store and go to the shelf that says cooking wine. Do not buy wine off of the shelf in a grocery store. Don't do it. Our Sauvignon Blanc dry white wine, 1 cup, that goes in. This is a dry port, 1 cup. Going to hit that into there. And don't worry about it. Any of the alcohol that's in it is going to cook out, but it's going to leave a very intense and aromatic flavor to this dish. So now what we're going to do is just let this come back up to a boil. And all the alcohol is going to evaporate out of this. And once that happens, we're going to hit it with some bone broth. You can use beef broth or well, I wouldn't use beef. You use chicken or vegetable or even fish broth. Any kind of broth you use, you want to use whatever meat you use. If you're using beef, you use beef broth, chicken broth, so on and so forth, because of the flavor contrast that it will give you. And once this come back up to a boil, we're going to hit that with about 1 cup of this bone broth. Oddly enough, this bone broth is gluten-free. So if you have any gluten allergies, this is for you. We're going to go in 1 cup of this. And of course, if you need more, we can add more. There we go. We can see all the alcohol is evaporating out of this. You can smell it. The aroma smells good. It smells delicious. We're going to go in with the bone broth now. We may add more later. Give that a nice little stir. And let that come back up to a boil. We have some capers, totally optional. Go, if I can open it. Use as many or as little as you like. We're going to go in with just a little handful of those capers. It's going to add a nice little briny saltiness to this dish. Bring everything back up. All the kids are in the pool. They're playing with each other and get to know one another. The garlic, the onions, the mushrooms, the bok choy, the tomatoes, the capers, everything in here, just having a good time. And I know what you're thinking, where's the fish? Well, hold your horses, pump your brakes. The fish will come in due time. You can't rush perfection. And you can smell those capers in there, that saltiness, the brininess is starting to evaporate with all that alcohol. Is leaving a tremendous flavor into this stew. We're gonna let that go. We're gonna add just a little bit of pepper into this as well. This is totally optional, totally up to you. Depends on if you want just a small little hint of the heat or none at all. It's totally up to you. We're gonna hit this with just a little bit of the crushed red pepper flakes to that. I like it spicy, so if I was at home, I would hit this with a whole lot more, but it's totally up to you. I think that nice little hit of heat in the background is just something you really, really need with this dish, with all the saltiness of the brininess and all the other different flavors that's going on in this dish right here. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit this with some heavy cream, or heavy whipping cream. All right, guys, we're gonna go take our last and quick break. When we come back, we're gonna get the fish prepped, we're gonna put the fish in, and then there's only one thing to do, and that is to eat. So stick with us right here on What's Cooking Neighbor. I'm your host, Don Smith. We'll be right back.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
The American Red Cross urgently needs blood and platelet donations and asks all healthy donors to schedule an appointment to give now. With the coronavirus outbreak, it is important to maintain a sufficient blood supply. Your blood donation is critical and can help save lives. Please schedule an appointment today. Download the Blood Donor app, visit redcrossblood.org, or call 1-800-RED-CROSS today. You can make a difference.
Hey, Mommy.
All right, don't forget to buckle up.
As parents, we make daily decisions to keep our children safe. But it's easy to forget that sexual abuse could happen to any child, at any place, by anyone. It's our responsibility to prevent child sexual abuse. To learn more, visit www.pcaky.org. Or to make a report of child abuse, call 1-877-KY-SAFE-1.
Leaving hot coals improperly extinguished can cause a wildfire.
Hey guys, it's Smokey!
It looks as if Smokey is going to use the drown, stir, drown, and feel technique. After the first drown, a good start. Next, another drink. And finally, a close feel.
Is it cool? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Smokey, catch! Oh, my bad, Smokey.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
What's up, guys? I'm Don Smith, and this is What's Cooking Neighbor, and on the menu today is fish stew. We got everything in the pool right here. It's already going. We have our bok choy, our onions, our garlic, capers. We have a little Sauvignon Blanc dry white wine. We have some dry pork. All into this. It's all evaporated. It's all come together, and all those flavors are melding together, becoming the best of friends. We also have some fire roasted tomatoes into this. And that is going. Now we just need to add the last ingredient to this. And that is this baby right here. This is a beautiful piece of salmon. We're just gonna season it up with a little pepper, a little salt. And we are gonna just gonna cut it up in some pieces. Beautiful. You could take the skin off of this if you wanted to. Totally up to you, totally optional. So now we're going to go in. Once I separate them nicely, we're going to go in with our fish. Nice bite-sized pieces. And it doesn't take long for this fish to get done. Give my hands a quick wash. Now we're just going to stir in our, we don't want to bother our fish too much. We don't want it to break up too much. It will break up some. But the smell and the aroma in here is unbelievable. You can see that big chunk right there, that salmon. Look at that, that's beautiful. And that's exactly what you want. Now what you want to do right now, we just want this to thicken up. Just a tad bit. Totally up to you if you wanted more of a liquid stew or more tight stew. The aroma right now coming from this is unbelievable. We're going to hit this with a little more of that pepper. A little more of that pink salt, sea salt. Bring all those flavors together. Give this a quick stir. And you can see the bok choy in there floating around. That's going to give that beautiful texture and crunch once you bite into it. And this is just about done, guys. We're gonna let that hang out just for a couple more seconds. Pretty much there's only one thing to do, guys, and you know exactly what it is. Just gotta test this out, see what it's all about. And we just cut this down. The aroma, it's unbelievable. Let's go in. Just get a little scoop of this. Now, we're going to hit that with a little bit of parsley over top of that. And we're going to hit that with just a little bit of Parmesan Reggiano cheese. And over top of that, we're just going to hit that with a little extra virgin olive oil. Now, let's go in. Let's see what it's all about. Let's taste it. Just look how beautiful that is right there, guys. Oh my goodness. Very light. The parsley adds unbelievable flavor to this. And like I said, the bok choy gives you that crunch that you need because it is so light. And the salmon is unbelievable. And it doesn't take very long to cook, which is perfect because it doesn't get overcooked. It's just right. Guys, this is a dish I do recommend you try. Fish stew, fish soup, whatever you want to call it. You can use cod, you can use tilapia, you can use any kind of fish you like. Totally up to you. Play with it, make it your own, but please try it at home with that wine, the port, the Sauvignon Blanc. It's all comes together very nicely. The acidity into this with that heavy cream, it all balances out perfectly, guys. Try this out at home and let me know what you think about it. I'm your host, Don Smith, right here on What's Cooking Neighbor. And as always, I hope I took your taste buds on another culinary journey, this time with fish, with gluten-free bone broth. Something for everyone here. We'll see you next time.